The public image of creatine is often locked inside the weight room. If you ask the average person what it is, they'll likely describe a dangerous, fringe muscle-building compound consumed exclusively by guys trying to bench press a small car. That reputation took root in the fitness culture of the 80s and 90s. Creatine was marketed alongside extreme sports, professional wrestling, and an era of unnatural physical enhancements, linking the white powder to a highly specific, hyper-aggressive aesthetic. But that cultural perception contradicts its actual regulatory standing. The US Food and Drug Administration categorizes high-quality creatine under a specific designation, generally recognized as safe. To put the safety record in context, look at this data. Across a 50-year period and more than 28 million adverse event reports submitted to health authorities, creatine appears in just 0.0007% of cases. Treating this molecule like a risky steroid misinterprets one of the most basic and well-studied compounds in human biology. Creatine exists as a natural amino acid derivative produced right now in your liver and kidneys. You also absorb it naturally every time you eat a piece of meat or fish. Your body produces it to power adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. Think of this as your cellular battery. Whether you are sprinting, blinking, or thinking, ATP provides the energy by breaking off one of its 3 phosphates. When that piece breaks off, the battery is dead. Focusing on that dead battery, this is where creatine performs its primary role. Your body stores it as phosphocreatine, which acts as a rapid exchange system, instantly snapping a replacement phosphate back onto the depleted molecule to recharge the battery to 100%. Every single cell in the human body runs on ATP. Limiting a compound capable of instantly recharging cellular energy to weightlifters overlooks its utility across the entire human lifespan. You will often see warning labels on creatine tubs advising against use by anyone under 18. This drives widespread parental panic, despite the fact that these warnings are legally motivated rather than being based on clinical evidence. When researchers evaluate adolescent populations, they find that maintaining healthy creatine levels supports normal physical growth and maturation. Its most critical role for adolescents happens in the brain. For young athletes running into heavy contact on the field, fully saturated creatine stores act as a neurological energy buffer. In the event of a concussion, this energy reserve helps maintain cellular stability and reduces the extent of the damage. Withholding creatine from young athletes because of an outdated reputation may deprive their developing brains of a highly effective, natural defense mechanism. The supplement industry has a history of excluding women, traditionally marketing products towards hyper-masculine aesthetics. This often pushed women who used sports nutrition into a highly specific visual niche. This chart reveals a biological reality the marketing ignored. Biological females naturally store 70 to 80% less creatine in their muscles than males. They also typically consume less dietary creatine through food. Starting at such a biological deficit makes women highly responsive to supplementation. By restoring that missing capacity, clinical trials show significant improvements in brain bioenergetics, which can help mitigate depressive symptoms. Energy demands rise significantly during intense hormonal shifts. During pregnancy, maternal creatine supplementation provides critical bioenergetic support that protects fetal development and improves neonatal outcomes. Later in life, when estrogen levels drop during menopause, women typically face an accelerated loss of muscle and bone. But the clinical data shows that high-dose creatine combined with resistance training thickens the bone matrix and helps preserve physical function. From neurological support to bone density, the unique biological profile of biological females makes them exceptionally responsive to regular supplementation. The physical benefits for adult men, faster recovery and increased power output, are heavily documented. But for everyday adults, the most compelling applications are cognitive. The human brain consumes roughly 20% of the body's daily energy. During periods of severe sleep deprivation, creatine steps in as an emergency cognitive reserve, supplying the bioenergetics needed to maintain high-level decision-making when you are otherwise exhausted. You will likely hear warnings about kidney damage, but this usually stems from a misunderstanding of a standard blood test. Processing creatine produces a harmless waste product called creatinine. Because doctors use creatinine to check kidney health, a harmless spike from a supplement is frequently misread as organ distress. Look closely at this cellular model to see why the myths about dehydration and cramping are equally incorrect. Creatine improves thermomodulation by drawing water directly into the muscle cells, maintaining a deeply hydrated state that actually protects against heat stress. These rumored side effects are built on misinterpreted blood panels and misunderstood physiological mechanisms. The actual clinical data reveals a molecule with a proven safety profile. If you walk into a nutrition store today, you will find a confusing wall of products. Companies push expensive, advanced formulas like creatine HCl or buffered liquids, charging premium prices for supposed absorption advantages. The scientific consensus is clear. The most heavily researched and cost-effective choice is standard creatine monohydrate. There is no clinical evidence suggesting that the more expensive variations provide better results. The protocol is simple. You don't need to time it around a workout, and you don't need to cycle off it. A consistent daily dose of 3 to 5 grams is all it takes to fully saturate your cellular stores. The supplement industry thrives on overcomplicating products to sell a new solution. The biological requirement is much more straightforward. Creatine belongs in the same category as daily electrolytes or omega-3s, far removed from the hypermasculine culture of the weight room. Treating it as a baseline requirement for cellular energy allows for consistent support across every system in the body. From protecting young athletes to fortifying bone density in older adults, creatine is a critical biological fuel for a healthier, more resilient human lifespan.